YouTube, Magnum Prime here, and today we're going to take a look at Maketoys Downbeat. This is their masterpiece interpretation of jazz. It's newly released as a premium version and we're going to check him out. Before we do though, if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the like button if you enjoy the video. Okay, here we go. In terms of accessories, he gets quite a few and it's a good haul, definitely, but I think my criticism of this would be that they're exactly the same as the original release. And, you know, to kind of summarize, these are nicely painted and sculpted, the shoulder speakers, the faces have got good paint on them and the visor, and the grappling hook as well, this has got paint on the white plastic, so that looks, you know, kind of nice. But the two hip skirt things and the two guns are just plain, really plain. I mean, look at this. It looks so cheap. I'm really surprised actually, because I would have thought this would be one area with this release, the premium edition. They'd stick some paint on this because that looks like it looks like something really cheap basically. This is slightly better because of the kind of variation in colour, the different plastics, but still, it doesn't look great to be honest. In terms of the practicalities, all of the accessories tab into place where they should. They all hold really securely and that's kind of fine. With the exception of the grappling hook, that's a little bit tricky to maneuver into place, but there you go. They all kind of work and do what they should. And there he is with his little Elvis snarl. I'm not sure that looks so good, but there you go. It is an option. Final score on accessories, 7 out of 10. So starting with the head, it's on a ball peg and will obviously swivel all the way around. It's got a decent look up and a decent look down. The shoulders have got a full 360 rotation. They are a little bit limited in the way that they work though, so they can extend out to the side fully and that's all fine, but you can never get them flush against the body due to this black tab rubbing up against this bit under here. It just won't do it unless you really squeeze it in and all of this kind of unpops. So a little bit of a kind of limitation there I feel on the posability. The elbows have got a double joint, however you can't really use them because these two pieces collide against each other. You can open up this if you really have to do it though, and you can see around the back there, it just breaks the sculpt of the forearm from that angle to do so. The wrists are on a swivel and you've got one articulated lump for the hand there, that's fine. You've got waist swivel, a little bit, it's a little bit limited due to the backpack, but if you activate the ab crunch, which is very decent, you can obviously get a lot more range in that sense. You've got individual hip skirts at the side and the front. The legs are on a universal ratchet front and back, which is very good. A little bit of collision at the back here, you know, in terms of range, and you've also got a ratchet out to the side, which is very good. Down at the knees, these are on soft joints, and you've got more than 90 degrees there, which is pretty good given there's all this here. And then down at the feet, you do have an ankle tilt, but some of this is a little bit limited by this boxy kind of effect here at the back. It's fine, it doesn't really, you know, affect anything, but it is a little bit limiting, I would say. You've also got a toe tilt forward for a running effect, so pretty good. So look, all round posability is very good, but there are a couple of limitations just in a few places where I think if things had been done slightly differently with the design, it would have improved it. So final score, 8 out of 10. In terms of size comparison, here he is with Off Leader. I think this kind of works. I'd prefer him to be probably a little bit taller, but he is definitely in keeping with other Masterpiece car bots. In terms of presence, this figure's got absolutely bags of it. There's no kind of question of that. He looks fantastic and he just has great character. If we bring in the G1 Tune, you can see, so it's not like kind of bang on proportionally and that kind of thing, but overall you can't argue this is jazz. Obviously it's got action figure kind of proportions. They've just nailed it to me. Now there's a little bit of a mismatch with the aesthetic. I don't know if this is supposed to be a Toon release or a toy release. Some of the tampos suggest toy, but the darker blue on the chest suggests a Toon. I don't know, whichever. I mean, it's unmistakably jazz and it looks fantastic in that sense. In terms of cleanup, he looks brilliant from the front. He's got really great proportions and he's very clean. From the side, he does lose it a little bit, particularly this bit under the arms, and the backpack hangs in a kind of funny way. And if I'm going to be really critical, down at the legs, some of the way in which the transformation of these panels works, it just breaks things up a little bit when your eye kind of settles on it, and it just loses the suspension of disbelief a little bit. But you know what? Overall, there's not really a lot to complain about, because like I say, he looks absolutely fantastic. 9 out of 10. So starting with the paint, it's absolutely brilliant. It's immaculately well applied, and he's pretty much covered all over. Some of the blacks are not painted, but everything else has got a finish on it. I think this is probably more of a lacquer actually on the white, if I'm honest. But in any case, it looks fantastic, even the bits that aren't. And that's just due to the quality of the materials, to be honest, the plastic, which we'll come on to in a sec. The thing that's really impressive are the tampos. I thought these were stickers at first. They've done so well, the design on them, but they're not. The tampos, really top-notch stuff. You've got painted shins down here, metallic, where they were flat grey on the original release, so that is definitely an upgrade. And all round, just really looks premium. Really nice finish. In terms of build, he's good, made from solid plastic, as I said, very good stuff, very durable feeling, because we all like a bit of durability with our Transformers. There are a couple of places where I think they could have improved things. Some of the tabs don't stick in very well. This chest tab here has a tendency to come undone when you're manipulating the arm, and some of them down on the feet do just come out of place quite easily, to be honest. This is the tab back here which secures the kind of heel section. That just has a tendency to come undone. Apart from that, everything else about the build I think is really good quality. Like I say, a couple of niggles. Overall quality, 9 out of 10. So in terms of transformation, it's well designed, well thought through, and it's got definite masterpiece moments, but in some places it's not particularly well executed. Up at the top, this part going, top of the bot to the front of the car is really intuitive and fun and smooth and solid. It's a sturdy transformation. But down at the bottom, you've got a few places that are not particularly well executed. You've got some double hinged kind of maneuvers and rotating things that are on almost thin feeling plastic, and I think a little bit of overuse or not too much care in some of those areas, and you might end up with breakages. Overall, I think it's kind of like two Transformers almost, top half and bottom half. It's really strange actually, because in bot mode and in alt mode it feels really solid and well built, but like I say, just some of these inner workings are not made of the same robustness as the rest of the figure. But like I say, overall it is a really well designed transformation, very masterpiecey. It's just let down in the execution in a couple of places, so 8 out of 10. So in terms of alt mode, this thing looks absolutely fantastic, and this is how it comes packaged. This is how you kind of get it out, and personally I was just blown away by how good looking and premium and quality this thing looks. Yes, there are a couple of giveaway things like the panel lines, but for the most part you'd be forgiven for thinking this is just a toy car. Rolls beautifully, looks fantastic. The paintwork is immaculate, as it is with the bot mode, and it's just got a nice amount of detail to kind of make it pop. Really good looking stuff. I think the biggest differences with previous release are there's a Meister tempo on the side and on the windscreen, and I think the stripes might be different as well. I'm not too sure, I'd have to double check. Oh, and the windscreens as well, I think these are smoked, whereas they weren't before, which, I think is a dead easy thing to do for Masterpiece figures, to just give them that really awesome looking alt mode, because it just hides very neatly, doesn't it, all the bot gubbins that are on the inside. And this effect on the back I think looks fantastic. It just looks really good. Criticisms for me in alt mode are, look, from the top looks very clean, from all angles very clean. It's just on the side here. You've got this bit poking down the bottom, a little bit of an engineering shift or something slightly different, and that could have just tucked up on the inside to hide it. And the back bits here, these I think could have been done slightly differently. If they'd have clipped up, that would have just made it, to be honest. Overall though, from most angles that you're going to look at this thing at, it just looks really fantastic. So 9 out of 10. So So there we have it. Adding it all together, he gets a final score of 8.3 out of 10. And this is just a really great masterpiece figure. It ticks all of the boxes for me in terms of the posability, the transformation, looks fantastic in both modes. I don't think you can really ask for much more from a masterpiece transformer. I think it's brilliant, to be honest. I think my biggest criticism of this is the way it's probably marketed as a premium release. The accessories, for example, are kind of a bit lackluster in terms of the way they look, so they're not really premium, and some of the things on the figure with the tabs I think probably could have been fixed or addressed prior to it being released as a premium release. I've said the word release a lot there, but there you go. So overall, I think this is probably more of a reissue. If you think of it in those terms, if you missed out on the original offering, go and get this figure because it's there now and it's basically the same thing but with some different colorations. It looks fantastic. It looks like masterpiece jazz. What more could you want? And it's a really fun transformer as well. So there we have it. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching. Please take care and bye for now.